My name is Valencia, and this is Balloons in Business.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Balloons in Business. And today I'm going to show you how I made this really cool Christmas themed balloon wreath. Now I actually made two. I made a white and a red, but I'm going to show you how I made the red one and then I'll show you pictures of the white one. So I used red ribbon, green duct tape, fishing line, a glue gun, a hula hoop I got from the Dollar Tree, Merry Christmas sign, fake wreath, red balloons, and some fake leaves and flowers that I got from the Dollar Tree. So when you get your hula hoop, you want to make sure that you cut it open first and get those beads out, because usually hula hoops has those little beads that you can hear. So you can cut it open and get the beads out and then tape it back again. You can use some duct tape to tape it back closed. See? And then, so I want to take my red ribbon and I want to cover half of the hula hoop with it. And that's where I'm going to have the balloons on. And what that does is it prevents the balloons from popping because the ribbon is a softer surface in the hula hoop. And it also covers up, gaps. So you won't be seeing like that yellow silver hula hoop underneath. So I'm going to take the glue gun and I'm going to glue gun the edge of the ribbon and I'm going to attach it to the hoop. Then I'm going to wrap the ribbon around the glue gun, overlapping the ribbon on top of itself so you won't see any of the gaps of the hula hoop. So once I was finished wrapping all of the ribbon around the hula hoop, I decided to give it a stretch because it wasn't quite covering half of the hula hoop yet. So I wanted to stretch out that ribbon. Again, making sure that I don't leave any, gaps, but stretching it out enough to where it could cover as close to half of the hula hoop as possible. Then once I stretched it to cover the portion that I needed it to cover, I just glue gunned the other end of the ribbon and glued it to the hula hoop. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the wreath to the other side of the hula hoop. And I'm going to use that using some green duct tape. And I chose the color green because it matches the color of the wreath. It's easier to hide. So what you want to do is you want to wrap the wreath. You want to go all the way up to the edge where that ribbon ends. And you want to wrap the wreath around one time. And then you want to take the duct tape and tape the wreath down to the hula hoop. Then you want to take the wreath and you want to wrap it around the duct tape to cover it up. Then you want to continue wrapping until you cover the other half of the wreath. Now, one thing I noticed when wrapping the wreath around is that the bottom part of the wreath would get caught up into the hula hoop. So what I had to do was I had to take all of the wreath and bunch it up into one hand. And then I had to wrap it around, exchanging the wreath from one hand to another so that the bottom part wouldn't get caught up in the hula hoop. So when you're done wrapping the wreath, you want to stretch it out as far as possible so you can make sure that it covers the whole half of that hula hoop right there. And don't be worried about the gaps where you can see the hula hoop peeking through. I'm going to cover that up with ribbon. So you're going to take a piece of duct tape and you are going to tape the other side of that wreath to the hula hoop right where it meets the ribbon. So I'm going to take some red balloons and I'm going to attach them to the ribbon side of the hula hoop as I mentioned before. So the balloons I'm using are 9 inches and I'm going to underinflate them to about 4 to 5 inches. So I'm going to put my hand on top of the balloons to round them out as I'm releasing the air. I'm going to make sure they're about the same size and I'm going to tie them into pairs. So I'm going to take 2 pairs of balloons, I'm going to connect them together at the center and then I'm going to twist them around each other twice to make a quad. Then I'm going to take the quad and I am going to start right where that green duct tape is to cover it up. And I'm going to slide one of the pairs in the quad into the hula hoop and I'm going to twist the 2 balloons around each other to make sure that the balloons are nice and secure on that hula hoop. So I'm going to take another quad of balloons and then I am going to slide those onto the hula hoop and twist those on to secure them. And then I'm going to push that quad into the existing balloons to try to fill in the gaps. And I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep attaching quads onto the hula hoop, twisting them on, and then pushing them up into the existing balloons to fill in the gaps. So you want to make sure you cover all of the red ribbon as well as that green duct tape that's attaching the wreath to the hula hoop. So now I'm going to attach some red ribbon to the wreath side of the hoop so I can cover up those gaps where you can see the hula hoop underneath. And then I'm going to wrap the ribbon around the wreath, trying to cover up those spots where I see the yellow hula hoop. So when I'm done wrapping and I made sure that I covered everything up that I needed to cover up, I'm just going to glue gun the end of that ribbon and attach it to the other side where the wreath and the balloons meet. So I'm going to take my Merry Christmas sign and I am going to cut the string and the tag off. So then you want to take some fishing line and then you want to put that fishing line through one of the holes at the top of the sign. And you want to push it through to make a loop. Then you want to center your sign where you want it to be on the hoop. And then you're going to tie your fishing line onto the top part of the hula hoop. Now this will take some time because you want to, make sure that your sign is centered right where you want it to be. You don't want to have one part of the sign higher than the other. So you want to try to measure it out, see how much slack you want to give yourself with the string before you tie it up. And with fishing line, you want to be careful to double and sometimes triple tie it because the fishing line is very fine and it will come out of its loop. So you want to definitely double or triple tie it to make sure it's nice and secure. And then you want to do the same thing to the other hole on the side. Stick that fishing line through, create a loop. You want to measure how that sign is holding up. You don't want one side up higher than the other. So you definitely want to give yourself enough slack with the string. So if you got to pull it down a little bit more or pull it up, you can do that. And then you just want to double tie that around the hula hoop to make sure it's nice and secure. So this is how it looks so far. Of course, I noticed that the Merry Christmas is backwards, but all you have to do is just turn the hula hoop around to get it on the right side. So I'm going to do the same thing for the sides of the sign so that it's not just swinging back and forth. I want it to be nice and secure in the center. So I'm going to tie the sign on the sides as well. So here's what I have so far with the Merry Christmas signs tied from the top and the sides and turned around so that the Merry Christmas is actually facing the right way. So right now I'm putting in some bunches of gold leaves that I got from the Dollar Tree. And you definitely want to put some leaves or flowers or branches into this wreath to really make it pop. Otherwise it will look really boring and plain. So I decided to also add these gold branches to the wreath. You want to make sure that when you're putting them in though that you do not pop the balloons. So you want to make sure that you can see a good, clear gap there where you can stick the branches straight through without popping the balloons. So once I'm done putting the branches in, I decided to stretch the leaves out some more to cover up more of the wreath. I only had 4 bunches, so I had to make them, stretch out to go a longer way. And there you go, a Christmas themed balloon wreath. So I attached the balloon wreath with the hook that I got from the Dollar Tree. And as you can see, those leaves and those branches really make a difference in the design. It really makes the wreath pop. Without those, it would have looked really boring. So here is the white version that I made. I used white balloons, silver branches, red and white flowers, and a red Merry Christmas. So this is how they look side by side. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you like what you saw, please go ahead on and like and subscribe to my channel so you can get notifications on future videos. And feel free to follow me on IG at Balloons in Business and Facebook at Balloon in Business. And until next time, I will see you later.